All right, what is going on, Star Wars fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Clueless Star Wars Review Show. My name is Brian, and joined with me today once again is my buddy James. James, what up?
Not much, yo.
What's going on? All right,
That's it. That's all I got to say.
that's all he's got to say. Just not much, right? Because we're all stuck in quarantine.
Yep.
With nothing to do except for going crazy, surrounded by four walls.
And talk about Star Wars.
And talk about Star Wars, of course, right? Because what better time to do it than now, right? But anyway, so for today's video, we are going to talk about our five. We're gonna give our 5 best moments of the Mandalorian season 2. Okay, and by the way, these are 5 best moments, not top 5. So these are in no particular order, but I think, James, are you gonna do top 5 or just gonna give 5?
No, I'll just go with you.
Okay.
I do have a relative order, so
Okay.
maybe I'll follow that.
Okay,
But,
so
these were all like pretty incredible for me.
all right, so so James is probably gonna follow a very loose top 5, but for me, I'm just going my 5 best moments in no particular order. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. All right, James, give us your first of the 5 best moments.
Okay, yeah. So because I did have a little relative order, my number 1 was definitely Luke, the return of Luke.
Right.
It was crazy. It was amazing. Like the power that he showed, the fighting. I think I mentioned to you, like when I saw this, like the thing that came to mind is like, this is what the chosen one. This is the power level of the chosen one, and like I think there was debate that whether Luke is or is not the chosen one. I think George Lucas still views Anakin as the chosen one because technically he brought balance to the Force, but anyways, like Luke is on par with his power level, and like we got to really see that for the first time.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's prime Luke.
Yeah, the power of a Skywalker. That's what it was. But I mean, yeah, really not much else to say. It's Luke Skywalker showing up. Okay, Luke Skywalker done right. But yeah, so on to my first of the 5 best moments. I have Grogu's origin reveal. From episode 5 of season 2.
True.
Right?
That was a
when
bombshell.
Ahsoka told us that when we finally reveal where Grogu came from, was that he was raised on the Jedi Temple of Coruscant.
Like he actually was a Padawan himself.
Exactly right. Hence, why or it made sense because he's been around for 50 years, right? So somebody had to, some Jedi had to find him at some point, right? But the question of, how long he was there for, probably pretty long because he Ahsoka said many masters trained him, but that was
well,
cool.
there's debate whether he's actually Yaddle and Yoda's baby or not, right?
Yeah. Yes.
We don't know.
Yes.
But we know we've only seen 3 other members of his species in the entire Star Wars franchise. So
and at the moment I don't want to picture that in my head that it's Yoda and Yaddle's baby. Okay, like it's best to keep it a mystery for a while.
yeah. But basically, most of his 50 years were probably spent at the Jedi Temple.
Yeah, and that was cool because now that raises new questions on how did he survive Order 66? And then Ahsoka mentions somebody took him away. Who took him? That was, I think everybody's wondering who took baby Grogu, from the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. But that was cool. Another little nod to the prequels. Always loved that. That Coruscant.
Another
exists.
thing I think they talked about that, like I don't know, like to what extent this is true, but I think Ahsoka mentioned that he like cut himself off from the Force to hide his powers.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
In the extended universe, they do talk about this. It's something that can be done. You can cut yourself off from the Force, and others can cut you off. Yeah. So I don't know if he fully cut himself off or if he was just hiding it, but that's a pretty cool thing to add to it, and it explains why he's been trained, but he doesn't do much. And even when he was using the Force in the first season, like it tired him out a lot.
Yeah, and then of course, if you guys played Fallen Order, Seer did the same thing.
Yes,
she cut herself
Seer intentionally cut herself off from the Force.
Yes,
but she does sort of reestablish that connection near the end.
Exactly right. Just to wrap that up. So it also, I think it gives us a new potential storylines, right? It could be a prequel comic, a prequel novel, something. But anyways, moving on to the second of the 5 best moments. What do you got?
Okay, so for my next one, I just titled it Boba's Return.
Boba's Return.
Yeah, that's what it's called. When he, I named them both Luke's return and then Boba's return. Yeah. So when Boba went and he got his armor back, like first of all, fighting with the gaffy stick before his armor, and then getting his armor, and then just like going ham on all the stormtroopers. Like,
man,
that was incredible.
Man, that gaffy stick. Boba's got to keep that, man. He's got to keep that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
But just so you guys know, I actually did not include Boba's return in my top 5. I have to have my honorable mention. It just missed my list. All right, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah. Anything else you want to add to that, or we're good?
I just think like something I really value about that scene was that like Boba was really cool in the original movies, but we never really saw him do anything. We saw his tracking abilities and his hunting abilities in the way that he captures Han Solo, but like we didn't see him go off on anyone in the same way that we did here. And so I know people have always told me he's really powerful in the like extended universe, but this is the first time we got to see him do something, and it was pretty great.
Yep. So finally justifying why all those Star Wars fans love not those Star Wars fans, my bad, but why all we Star Wars fans love Boba Fett is because of this. But yeah, moving on to my second of the 5 is the Mayfell cafeteria scene. You know what?
Funny enough, that's my third.
That's your third. Well, hey, I mean, since it's
I called it Mayfield's Toast.
Mayfield's Toast. Oh, true. Oh my goodness. No, that's an incredible title, by the way. But yeah, since it's your third, you know what? You might as well just you can just go.
No, you can talk it first, and I'll see if there's anything else.
I'm saying like you can just add right after, since it's back to back. But
okay.
But that scene, I mean, before we talk about that scene, can we just all appreciate how incredible Bill Burr's performance was? That's what Bill Burr, the actor,
especially for somebody that doesn't like Star Wars.
For somebody who does not, exactly. If you guys don't know, Bill Burr, right, the actor that played Miggs Mayfeld, he has vocally stated that he did not like Star Wars, and he had missed the hype growing up, right? Which is honestly, it's fine. It's his opinion. Nothing against Bill Burr. Bill Burr.
Not everybody has to love Star Wars.
Yes, not everybody has to love it, but the fact that he still gave a hell of a performance is was admirable, man. I mean, like, just when we saw when he portraying like an ex-soldier with PTSD was done so well, right? When he was kind of talking about, how about we toast the Operation Cinder, right? And then as a suddenly forgot the name.
From Battlefront 2.
Yeah, from Battlefront 2. Another quick nod to Battlefront 2. But and then we see like the commander, right, who is also an ass, right? Just like that pilot, just like that shuttle pilot.
A true Imperial.
Another true Imperial. It's like to the Empire. His war sound. Pretty scary dude. I can't lie. That dude, his face looks pretty scary when he when he smiles and all that.
Yeah, like you never know if he's actually your friend or if he's like
exactly
gonna do something, gonna mess you up.
Yeah, and then you see Miggs kind of like confronting his demons. The demon was right in front of him, right? The guy that was kind of responsible for him losing all of his troops that were probably his boys, all of them just dying. And seeing the guy responsible smiling, celebrating, that moment when
making light of it.
Making light of it, exactly. When Mayfeld was like down there, saw his allies, his friends dying, and then he's talking about like, what about their families, and that's just one of the things that they're really another cool addition to like additional context to like these regular soldiers, because we see these stormtroopers get rinsed so easily, right? But then did we ever once think about like what would their family think?
People.
That they're still people. They have family, they have they
have emotions, they have relationships,
a lot of them. Exactly. They're probably married with kids, and then they just and then you see Mando, Bo-Katan and them just killing them.
Tossing them like it's nothing.
Tossing that one dude into space, when he fell off the bridge. What if that guy had had a beautiful wife, beautiful kids?
They're still bad guys, but they're still human.
And if they're still human, and then just imagine just thinking somebody knocking on his family's door and saying that we couldn't find your husband's body because he fell into space. You should be lying.
I just like that they're showing different sides, right? Like
they're showing different sides,
from,
right?
From our perspective, like they're evil and they kind of deserve to die, or at the very least be arrested, or
exactly.
They're like they got what's coming to them.
And
it still hurts for them.
Yeah, and it also changed the perspective of Kara as well. Remember how Kara was willing to let Mayfeld go, and then the whole episode, Kara was grilling Mayfeld, because the dude was
she hates him because
guy was Imperial straight up. But then like afterwards, she's just like, you know what, we'll just let him go.
She realized that like it's more complicated. It's not so black and white.
Exactly.
He's a little gray. He was working for the Imperials, but he did have a great regret over Operation Cinder. And I guess for anyone that doesn't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Operation Cinder was when the Emperor got destroyed. It was a contingency protocol where they just destroyed all the planets they were occupying.
Exactly. Yep.
Regardless of whether there was Imperial forces on it or not.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. That's exactly what Operation Cinder was in a nutshell. But yeah, and then also Mayfeld talked about beliefs. During the car ride, the car ride with Mando, talking about how people in Alderaan believe certain things, people on Mandalore believe certain ways, but hey, now they're all gone, right? So yeah, that just gives a completely a new context to Imperial soldiers. And just Mayfeld in general.
But even Mayfeld specifically, because like we saw him in the first season, and he was pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Now they're making him a little more human, a little more like interesting, I think, and it'd be cool to see him come back.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's just and it's always great, when you get new context to these characters, that was kind of like that was very vague and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, this is just one thing that I always found impressive about Dave Filoni, is how he's able to grow his characters. Just a quick mention.
It's always planned growth for him.
Exactly. Ahsoka is like the perfect example of one. You know, of course, we all know how
he intentionally made her dislikable in the beginning.
Exactly. And then now, same thing with Mayfeld, and he gave us, he gave us an incredible performance from Bill Burr in that cafeteria scene alone. Yeah. But yeah, did you have anything you would like to add to that?
Not really. I think you covered everything. I just for me, the reason why I was number one, or one of my top moments, was because it does show that even though he was a villain, he's still human, and he does have a lot of regrets.
Exactly.
And so he might have been an Imperial, but he's not evil like the Imperial mentality is.
Yep.
And so that was cool.
Yeah, and just another quick add-on to that whole part. It's just it's another one of those nothing's black and white. Everybody's gray, right? Because
people can change.
Exactly.
Experiences can change your opinions.
And I actually watched Rogue One again two days ago, right? And they were talking, and one scene, this kind of reminds me of how when Cassian Andor, just before they went to Scarif, Cassian Andor was talking about how all of us had done bad things for the rebellion, all that kind of stuff, and it showed that hey, the rebels can just be as bad as the Empire at certain times.
They commit war crimes just like the Empire, maybe not on the same scale, but things happen, and
we'll see that, and we'll probably see that, and we'll probably see more of that in the Andor series that's coming next year. But
for sure.
But yeah, since that was your number 3, I'll go straight to my number 3. So my number 3 is Din and Grogu parting ways. Look, bittersweet. That was the perfect ending for this season. Very bittersweet. And just seeing and it's just seeing the fact, and it's just seeing that I mentioned this in the previous video, is that showing Grogu and Din willing to part ways because of shoot, I lost track of what I was going to say. Because they were destined for kind of greater things, right? Grogu's destined to become a Jedi at some point, right? And then Din possibly becoming the next ruler of Mandalore, right? And
that's our theory so far.
That's our theory so far, exactly.
I see it. I see the seeds being planted already.
Right, and then of course, nothing can get more powerful than Din taking off his helmet for baby Grogu. It just shows that that his love and for another being, right, always trumps his beliefs and his creed. Yeah. And that is honestly,
it's that message of the love conquers all.
Exactly. Really, pretty much. That's what it is. And that can. That is also one of the things that can translate to just real world stuff, right? Is the fact that all of us, right, have we all grew up different ways. we're all from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, skin color, right? Especially, since me and James, by the way, we live in Canada, right? So, we're very multicultural here. So it's kind of like, we don't let, and of course, we got different religions. Some people are, you have Christians, you have Muslims, you have atheists or whatever, Buddhists, that that at the end of the day, you know what, if you're friends, you're friends. It doesn't matter about the religion. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Even with us, there's some things in Star Wars that we have different opinions on, but
at the end of the day, yeah,
being able to talk about it, being able to like engage with people that have different opinions is a really important thing in life, I think.
Yeah, and it's just and it's just love, friendship, and I guess in this case it would be fatherhood, right? Because we all know Star Wars, one of the biggest
that was what
themes
mine went to when I saw this. Like, it was like, as a parent, you kind of have to change your rules sometimes.
Exactly.
And now I'm not a parent, so I don't necessarily have first-hand experience with that, but that's what that kind of the message that I got from that was. It's like, you have to be willing to go against some of your rules, like when you have other people that are dependent on you.
Absolutely.
And it's for love, because of love.
And I 100% agree with that. And it was just him taking off that helmet for Grogu was just so powerful, right? He did that on 2 occasions, right? So that just shows how fatherhood trumps everything. That we can say at this point that Grogu was Din's child. It's like Din's son. It's just like
yeah.
You have that parents have to sacrifice for their kids, right? Regardless of what it is, they have to sacrifice, right? Like, I'm sure both our parents did the same, And yeah, that's just what I got. Why that scene was incredible, aside from the fact that it was an ending I wanted, but it was just showing how there's some things that are more important than personal belief, and that's friendship, fatherhood, parenthood, and just human.
I like that you first talked about it in the context of like love, right? Love is general.
Absolutely,
love is like, friendship and relationships. They're all love.
Right, and it's just. Yeah, and that's what I have for my number 3. So we're gonna go to number 4. What do you have on number 4?
Okay, number 4 for me is titled Boba Hutt.
Boba Hutt.
This is the end credit scene. Yeah, basically setting up the book of Boba. I thought that was like
very unexpected.
I don't know, it was just really hype for me, right? Like, I think the first time we saw Boba Fett, it wasn't that there, but when you think of Boba Fett, I think of Jabba's palace. And so the fact that he goes back there and like reclaims it for himself, it was crazy. And then that shot of Fennec Shand sitting at his side, it was like crazy. It was great.
And you know what's crazy about that? It's just I didn't think it's so logical for Boba to be like the person sitting on Jabba's throne, but I didn't think of that. Like, but then when I saw
it was unexpected.
I'm like, yo, this makes complete sense. How did I not think that this was a possibility? But But no, I mean that scene that scene was incredible, and can we just say that Bib Fortuna gained that quarantine weight? Can we all agree on that?
He's trying to be a Hutt.
He really is trying to be a Hutt, right?
Yeah.
Now, just a quick, I have a theory on that. Is that when that during that explosion, Jabba got cooked, and Bib Fortuna kind of ate Jabba. That's why he gained all that weight. The
fanfic, yeah.
That's my fanfic, and my fanfic of how Boba Fett escaped from the Sarlacc was he ate the Sarlacc from the inside, which is why he gained a bit of a dad bod.
True. He couldn't burn off all those calories.
Couldn't burn off all those calories, man. He hasn't been bounty hunting for so long. He didn't have his armor, so
yeah.
So he hasn't been that active. But no, but yeah, no. All jokes aside, I mean that was an incredible scene. Very unexpected. And
I agree. Like I didn't see it coming, but when I saw it, it was logical and made sense.
And we now got an additional series. From that.
Icing on the cake.
Icing on the cake, exactly. But yeah, so I'm gonna move to my number 4. I got Din versus Gideon.
Okay.
Din versus Gideon. This was the fight that since season 1 I was looking forward to. And the biggest reason was I want to see the Darksaber in action, in live action, how that would look like. And of course, I know Gideon is not he's not a swordsman or anything. He's not as good as no Mando or Jedi or anything. But you know what? That was what that was what I've been waiting for. You know, just Din versus Gideon. You know, with Gideon using the Darksaber and all that stuff. Now, albeit the
it was still a good fight. Like
Yeah.
I agree that maybe the choreography didn't like it was intentional, right? He's not some expert swordsman, so they didn't make him look like that, but he was like really going at it.
Mhm.
He did a good job.
And it's just, I was gonna say, albeit it was a little bit short, but hey, you know what? I got to see the Darksaber in live action, so I'm not mad at all, right? And to go up
And
against,
hopefully season 3 we'll see him.
we'll see Din with the
Din
Darksaber,
using it more.
right? And just a quick side note, I really wish Din used the Darksaber against the Dark Troopers. You know, him and Luke kind of teaming up.
That would have been crazy.
That would have been, oh my goodness, that would have been like the icing on top of the icing on the cake for this season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think that he wouldn't have made it though. He would have killed 1 and 2 and then got shot.
And it got shot. But yeah, I mean, like that was a very good, nice little short fight. You know, got to see Gideon play his mind games at the end, would be like smiling, be like, this should be interesting, you know.
Yeah,
in a very Giancarlo Esposito way, you know.
Yeah.
Amazing actor, by the way, amazing actor.
Yes. Yeah.
And of course the Beskar spear in action, right? They teased that in episode 5 that Din was going to use that against the Darksaber. A lot of us predicted that, and it was correct, right? It made sense.
Yep.
So and then yeah, so that goes in my not episode 4, that goes in my number 4. So we are moving to your last.
Okay, so my last one, it's harder. It's not like necessarily a moment so much as like the whole thing, and it's the Crate Dragon hunt.
Ooh,
and for me that was like pretty crazy because when I was a kid, like one of the first games I played that was Star Wars related was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
KOTOR, classic.
If any of you have played it, you would know you do hunt a Crate Dragon in it. It's the different subspecies, but you know it's the same creature, and they do kind of follow that same path, and so it brought back a lot of memories for me that were good, and like it was just really cool.
Yeah, no, and it's also one of the things that, you know, it's like showing respect to the old EU, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I forgot.
If you have not played that game, Knights of the Old Republic, you should just buy it. You can buy it on your phone. You can buy it on the computer.
Long ass game.
Doesn't matter. You can buy it for the Xbox. Get it. It's worth it.
A long ass game, by the way, guys. But yes, but I mean, like, to be honest, because I actually never played Knights of the Old Republic. I mean, might be very shameful to say as a Star Wars fan, because I was actually never an Xbox owner, right? I was a PlayStation guy growing up, so I never got a chance to play KOTOR. But you know what? I still love the lore with KOTOR and everything. Like, I see like cutscenes, walkthroughs, and all that, you know, later on. So, you know, I still appreciate the game for what it is, even though I never played it. But I mean that just goes to one of the things I actually forgot to mention in our review was the whole season felt like a role-playing game with all the side quests.
Yeah,
right. And the Crate Dragon is an example of that, right? Like the whole it came from
it's like a boss.
Yeah, it literally came from, you know, one of the quests from a video game, you know.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool, you know, to make like a live action show kind of like a video game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty interesting take, you know.
It was amazing. And then also I think it also does like make it a little more believable that Bulba survived being swallowed by the Sarlacc pit, because we see Din like fly into the Great Dragon. It does two things, right? So it's a story on its own, but it also does like build up that idea. And that was cool. So it showcases that the Beskar armor is enough to withstand like the insides of a giant organism.
And also an underrated line was when Din was saying, it lives in an abandoned Sarlacc pit, and Cobb was just like, there's no such thing. And then Din is like, yeah, there is when you eat the Sarlacc. And I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's a very interesting world building stuff right there.
It's another reference to your theory. When Boba eats his way out of the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it could contribute to it, right? Like that the Crate Dragon ate that specific Sarlacc.
It could be, yeah.
And then like
while he was eating it, Boba managed to crawl out. I think in canon or in Legends there is an explanation for how he gets out. I don't know it.
And I also want to this just remind me, just another honorable mention that's want to throw out there. An honorable mention for one of the best moments was giving new light to the Tusken Raiders.
True.
That was
So-
pretty interesting. Like, you know, and of course, one of the best part, the Tusken Raiders have their own theme. Do you remember that? Do you remember that music that played when when they were marching into Mospelgo?
I'm not sure now, but I know they have music that's typically associated with them.
Yeah.
From the episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about that music?
No, it's a different music. It's kind of like much more like epic.
Okay.
And you know,
Yeah,
very
maybe I'd have to like
very
watch that
like
because that was the first episode, so it's been a while.
yeah, but that was just an incredible soundtrack from Ludwig Göransson to show the Tuskens, and then great respect to.
But also the idea that the Tuskens are like a sophisticated society is like harkening back to Knights of the Old Republic again. Like
exactly.
you do have the option to not slaughter them all. So it's cool that you know, like it touches
Yes.
on that too.
Yeah, and also amazing amazing attention to detail from Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni was that when the Tuskens marched into town, they marched in single file. Remember Obi-Wan said they
Yes,
always
yeah.
go in single file to hide their tracks. Great
Yeah.
attention to detail. See, these are the people that should be in charge of Star Wars, right? When they pay attention to this kind of detail. But anyways,
Yeah.
moving on to my number 5 is,
Okay.
I mean, what else can there be? Luke Skywalker. Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker. I mean, you said most of it. I don't even have much to say. It's Luke Skywalker showing up. It's Luke done
Yeah.
right. Look, I know a lot of people are kind of like getting are going
Okay,
at the
yeah.
CG, but like, hey,
We
listen,
didn't talk about that, but yeah, the CGI was like pretty awful.
but you know what?
I'm willing to overlook it for the moment.
The moment,
like,
it's the moment. You know what I'm saying? Forget
It, like
about if it's.
it lives in your mind, you know, like that moment, and
Yup.
you rebuild it there.
And then when he
But yeah, his nose was pointing the wrong way, yo.
was it actually?
I swear, it looked wrong. And then when he talked, he looked so dead.
Oh yes, I did notice that that the talking was a little bit shaky on that part, but no, man, like listen, when he
Like you
came
say,
up,
like it doesn't take away from the fact that like it's an incredible moment.
and he had a hallway scene, you know, like father like son. He
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
hallway scene. He opened that elevator, just blocked everything out of the way, and then started cutting.
Unstoppable.
Incredible lightsaber choreography. We got to see prime Luke choreography. We said this in our we talked about this in our review. Just prime Luke Skywalker, in action, and quite the unexpected, but definitely one that I will remember for the rest of my life because I watched it. It was like, by the time that scene showed up, it was like 3:40 a.m. It was very late at night. Everybody in my house was asleep, so I couldn't scream. But I was literally whispering at the top of my lung. I was like, "Oh my God, it's Luke! Oh my God, it's Luke! It's Luke!" And I couldn't scream. I legit wanted to wake everybody up and be like, "Yo, Luke Skywalker just showed up!"
Especially the way they did it, right? Like you didn't see him all at once, but like slowly they just showed you bits of pieces of him. First it was the X-wing, then it was the fact that he's using like black clothes and black cloak,
and then one lightsaber,
and then it's the hand, then it's the green lightsaber.
Yeah. I would say one in between that it would be showing that he had one lightsaber instead of two, so we know that wasn't Ahsoka.
Oh, true. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And
Alright, I think we see the green lightsaber first, right?
No.
Then we see his hand?
No, we see the one lightsaber, in the CCTV in the security footage.
Okay, so you don't see the color.
And then it flashes to Luke holding the lightsaber with the same sound effects from Return of the Jedi. You caught that, right?
Yeah.
That was
amazing.
That was
it was just like really, really well done. Really well.
My goodness. And you
So
know
when
what?
did you clue into the fact that it was Luke? At what point in that series of events?
When they showed one lightsaber.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That early. For me, it was when we saw his hand.
When we saw his hand.
The
Oh,
robotic
okay.
hand, like I knew it at that point.
Yeah. When I saw the one lightsaber, I was like, "Yo, that's Luke. That's Luke." And then when it showed the green lightsaber, I'm like, "It's Luke. It's Luke."
Yeah, that was amazing.
Man, what a moment. And it's just like the what that moment meant for a lot of Star Wars fans was, if you guys caught Star Wars Theory, right, who did his live watch along, he immediately went to tears.
Yeah, you told me about that, and then like I went back and watched it, and like he starts sobbing almost.
That just shows like what that scene meant for long time Star Wars fans like him. Now obviously he loves Star Wars longer than longer than we did, right? Because he's older than both of us.
But just like us, we're just like him in that like we grew up with these characters, right? So to see them respected and treated well does mean a lot.
Just look at like all of those reaction videos on how those hardcore Star Wars fans be reacting. It just shows, what that scene meant for us.
Did you hear one of the executives in Disney or
oh
Lucasfilm?
My goodness, I was about to get to that.
They're kind of like talking smack about
Pablo Hidalgo. First of all, Pablo Hidalgo. Let me just say this, man. You are a cornball for saying that shit. All right, like
it seems weird.
Way out of line. Just way out of line for somebody that works at Lucasfilm. Okay, like if it was just some like random person on Twitter.
Yeah, sure. Then it could be like maybe just toxic masculinity or something.
Yeah, but then
he was like shaming the guy for crying.
Yeah, and without like context of like understanding like what that moment meant for fans like Star Wars theory. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are, first of all, like you are way out of line for saying that, okay? And and honestly, I didn't plan to bring this kind of stuff to this video, but like after seeing that, I had to, man. First of all, and you work for Lucasfilm. That's the biggest problem.
That's the thing, right?
A guy that works for Lucasfilm set that
to get somebody to cry when watching something like this is like that should be the goal.
That should be the goal, right? And then here you got him clowning on a guy for crying over an incredible moment like that. Like, you know what? Honestly, I don't know too much about Pablo Hidalgo, but if he was part of those, if he was like part of like the sequel trilogy staff, you can say, dog, you're just jealous. You're just jealous that like Filoni and Favreau's work is way better than like the nonsense that you put out. Okay, like first of all, like get off his back. All right, like you did not deserve to work at Lucasfilm like that. Okay, Pablo Hidalgo, you are way out of line, and you need to apologize to the man right now. Okay, or you will be forever labeled as legendary corny, as 50 Cent once said on the Breakfast Club. All right, he is legendary corny, and that's what Pablo Hidalgo is. All right, I'm gonna just put that out there.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'll leave you with that.
Sorry, guys. Gotta go on a mini rant on that, man. That was that was not cool. Not cool at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, quite an unexpected way to end the video. But yeah. That's it for our top 5 moments. If you guys have your top 5 moments, please let us know in the comment section down below. We would love to see what your favorite moments were. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and we wish that everybody has an incredible new year and rest of the day. So all right, that's it for us, and peace.